Let's get it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Bryan with DD214 Transport. Look, like, subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications. If this is your first time at the channel, well, this is where we talk about hotshot trucking. The money that can be made, the money that can be lost, the goods, the bads, the ins, the outs, travels, so forth. So if this is something you're wanting to learn about, hey, welcome. Hit the like, subscribe button, and hit the notification. All right, so go to the Facebook group, please, and you can join the Facebook group. That's a really good group, guys. They're in there. There's a lot of experience in there. There's a lot of newbies in there. There's a lot of everything in there. They've got job offers. They've got all kind of things. So I'll leave a link below. One other announcement is, don't forget, my funding company is offering you $100 when you factor your first invoice. All you got to do is sign up with them. No long-term contracts, none of that garbage. When you do your first factoring with them, they're going to add $100 to it. Don't leave that money on the table, guys. That's money. All right, I'll leave the phone number below where you can reach out to them. Now, today we're going to talk about your clocks. And good morning, coffee, the life juice of me. Today we're going to talk about your clocks, or hours of service. Now, guys, mismanaging your clocks can absolutely break you. It can cost you a ton of money. You have to be able to manage your clocks. And before you can manage your clocks, you have to understand your clocks and how they affect everything. For you Marines out there, if you remember, this is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. You need this. If you're going to do hotshot trucking, you need to insert clock in there. This is my clock. There are many like it, but this one is mine. So understanding your clocks. This first graph I'm going to put up, the first graph here, it's going to be the start of your week. You have completed a 34-hour reset. And you're showing here 4 clocks, okay? From the top, we're going to start from the top left. I don't know what it'll be on this camera, but you'll see 14 hours here. This 14-hour clock. All right, once you start this clock, we call this the Wicked Witch clock because there's no stopping it. This Wicked Witch, once you hit on duty, you can't stop it. You have 14 hours now to drive the next clock over 11. Okay, so you have 14 hours to drive 11. That means within 14 hours, between fueling, eating, stops, road checks, whatever, you can drive 11 hours. But you got to drive that 11 within that 14. Now, down below it, you'll see here 70 hours. All right, in an 8-day cycle, the government gives you 70 hours. You can work 70 hours in those days. And I will tell you, if you're working your clocks right, you'll never see that. You will burn that 70 in 5, so that when you get down to Friday, when you have to reset, or because you're going to be out of time. And plus, nobody, very few places will accept you on a Saturday or a Sunday. So you want to be sure that during the week you're burning that 70 hours as much as you can. All right, and then the next one says 8-hour break. All right, so the rule is every 8 hours during a shift, you must take a 30-minute break. Even managing this little portion of the clock is extremely important. what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you fuel, every time you have to go, when you fuel, you're on duty not driving. You need to make sure you click that over on duty not driving. If you go to the restroom or go in to eat, look guys, that's off duty. You're not on duty at that point. So you got to make sure that you're managing that clock. And when I stop, I hit on duty not driving, and I don't wait for it to automatically do it. I do it myself because I just don't trust it. It might be the old timer in me, but I always just push the button. Okay, so your basics are you have 14 hours to drive 11. In an 8-day period, you can work 70 hours. If you hit 70 hours on duty and on duty not driving, or on duty driving, if you hit 70 hours, you got to stop for 34, period. You're done. Every 8 hours, you must take a 30-minute break. So you have to manage that clock and make sure you're not forced to take multiple 30-minute breaks every day. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples of things going on here. We're going to slide up, and I'm going to put this up here. Now, I will tell you that this is what your clock will look like throughout the day. Okay, if you stop at, we're going to stop at the top right where it says 6:29. Out of my 14 hours, I still have 6:29 on my 14. Okay, so on my drive, I have 5:22. Now, one thing you do not want to do is let this clock, the shift clock, the 14-hour clock, catch your drive clock, because it will come down like this and it will catch it, and then once it catches it, you're done. It just pushes it on down. That's it. So you want to stay ahead of that clock. Here I have 62:29 left on my 70, and I have 5:45 till my next break. And this diagram is that I pulled up short to pick up my next load. Now, it was after hours when I got there, so they would not take me. Now, that means I have to stop, and this is where I stopped. Now, I did not use my 14. I did not use my drive. I only used 8.5 hours of my 70. So, I had to stop for the night. And when you're driving, you want to drive this clock out. You want to make sure you use as much of that clock as you can. Or you get to where you have to stop because your next pickup is there. Now, I'm going to flip down to the next one, and I want you to look at how this day went. This day starts out, I ran all but 58 minutes of my shift. I ran as far as I could, or I got to my destination, one or the other. That's because that's how I run. I go as far as I can go on time, or I got to my destination. We had an hour and 44 minutes left on the shift, which is great. 39 minutes left on the 70, and 3:35 on the time till break. Now, understanding this, you can see how the 70 is working down through the week, how it worked down. This day, I had an hour and 45 minutes left on my shift clock, where I had 11 minutes on my drive. I still have 28 hours on my 70, and hour and 14 minutes on the break. Here again on this day, I'm still pushing down. It's still running hard. I got 17 minutes on my, I'm sorry, let's just stay with the top right. I got an hour and 30 minutes on my shift. I got 17 minutes on my clock on my drive line. That means I drove 10 hours and 45 minutes basically that day. I got 16 hours on my 70 and 1 hour and 37 minutes on my clock, or my break clock. Now, this is the morning after that, and I wanted you guys to see this. After you take your 10-hour break, okay, when you take that 10-hour break, you wake up with a fresh 14 day, or 14 hour, okay, you got a fresh 14 hour, you have a fresh 11, okay, now you got 14 hours to drive 11. Down here, your cycle was kicked out to, it's still 1650 something, and you got 8 hours, because I had not hit the on duty button yet. You got 8 hours before your first break has to be taken. So you go down to the next one. Now, this was at the end. This was on a Friday morning. I don't know, I guess I didn't take the picture of the Friday evening one. So this is the end of the Friday, end of my run. I went as far as I could on the last one. So we come down to this one, and this is a Monday morning. So I'm looking at a fresh 11, fresh 14, fresh 70. That means I've been off 34 consecutive hours. Okay, so that's what that's telling me. Now, there's a few little ones here I want to show you. I want to show you sort of how this works. On this one, remember, it says 41 on the shift and 40 on the drive. Now, this is coming off of fresh 70, so at 41 on the shift and 40 on the drive, I had a lot, almost 3 hours of delay time in there sometime through that day. Because, I normally don't let my shift clock get that close to my drive, but something happened on this day, and you can tell, you can see it. But I still ran my clock out down to 40 minutes. And so you understand where the 40 minutes come in. Why did I stop there? Because there was the decision made between Mila and myself that I can't go any further. There's not going to be a hotel in front of me. So I either need to stop here or I'm going to be in trouble out here. So you got to remember, this is all part of the juggling act. It's stuff you got to be thinking about. All right, so 41 minutes on the shift, 40 minutes on the drive, 58 on the cycle. It was a pretty good day. I ran it through. Now on this one, if you look, I got 34 minutes on the shift, 2 minutes on the cycle, or on the drive, I'm sorry. 2 minutes on the drive. Now think about that. I ran down to 2 minutes. I was sweating bullets. I can remember this night. It was late. I was rolling. We were kind of in the middle of nowhere and had bypassed one place that we could have stopped, and I was pushing, so I went to the next place. I had 2 minutes on my drive. When that thing goes to zero, you're pretty much done. There's some things you can do, but guys, I'm not getting into all those other things today. What we're going to do today is just talk about your basics, but you can see how I'm running, and I want you to understand that. 34 minutes on the shift means I had delay time today. 2 minutes on the drive, I used it all, baby. That's where you make your money. 38:28 on the cycle. Now we're going to slide down again. And on this day, I want you to see something. You can see here on this day that my shift clock caught my drive clock. Whatever happened, I don't recall, but whatever happened, the shift clock come down, and once it catches your drive, then it just goes with it. And I'm going to show you through the next couple slides here real quick how that works. Your shift clock caught your drive. So it just keeps pushing it down. You can see here, 31, 31, or 37, 137, 137. So again, it's just going with it. Now you can't stop it. No matter what you do, on duty, off duty, don't matter what you do. Your shift has caught your drive and you're done. And look, guys, I know that this is a lot like taking a drink out of a fire hydrant. So just bear with me and understand that we're going to do another one and we're going to go over this stuff again. But today we're just getting into the basics so you can get something in your brain to start understanding what's happening. Okay, so down here, again, it's caught us. You know, this is on the same night. I'm just taking pictures to show you that it doesn't stop. Once that 14 catches, it's not going to stop. It's going to push you to 0. And here is where it hit 0. I went all the way down, no shift, no drive. I mean, you got to be wherever you are and stopped. That's it. So on this example, I have went ahead and let my shift run my drive to 0, went off duty, done. Now you can stay on duty as long as you want. As long as you're working, you can be on duty, but you cannot drive past that 14 hours, and you've got to realize that. Nothing stops that clock. So once your 14 hours is up, can you still work? Yes. Can you still drive? No. So don't play that game. Now, and then, just so you know, the 14 hour goes down. Let's say you work 5 more hours. You work 20 hours that day. That's fine. Good. As long as you're not behind the wheel, you're fine. But once you go off duty, you have to have 10 hours. There has to be a 10-hour reset before you'll get your drive time back. You have to be off 10 hours. Okay, so, you know, I really just wanted to give you guys a basic rundown on your clocks and understand that you have to work those clocks, and you have to understand how they work so that you can work those clocks. Now, there are special circumstances for a lot of things. You have a 16-hour rule, you have a safe harbor rule, you have a hazmat rule, you have a sleeper berth rule, you have a 8-4 split rule. There's a lot of silly rules. Not silly, but there's a lot of rules. And we're not going to get into those. I'm just not. It's not that time. So, now one thing I will tell you is if you do not have a DOT approved sleeper berth, you can never go into sleeper berth. Okay? You can go off duty, which is fine too. But when you go into sleeper berth, you can do the 8-4 split. So, you know, you can't do that. Now, if you have any questions, which I know you will, because, you know, this is some tedious stuff. It's tough. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Go to the Facebook page. Don't forget to go get your factoring sign up. I'm leaving that phone number below to call Larry. But look, guys, you know, these are the rules we have to abide by. These are the rules we have. The golden rule is those who have the gold make the rules. If you want to make the gold, you got to follow the rules. It's going to cost you a lot of money. If there's anything I can do for you guys, please reach out. I'll help anybody I can. If you need anything, go to the Facebook page and ask. Somebody there will help you. They're a good bunch of guys over there. So, anyway, this is Bryan, DD214 Transport. I hope this helps. I truly do. I don't know that it will. Hope to see you out on the road. Never forget that anything you're going to go pick up, put on that truck, or deliver is not worth your life. And you've got to be safe. All you military guys and first responders out there, we love you. Guys, if you weren't in the military and you're not a first responder and you don't have a DD214, we love you too. So just understand the guys you're dealing with in here are a lot of military guys. So anyway, guys, here we go. Let's make something happen. Let's make some money together. You can do this business. I know you can, and I know you can because I did it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So the process to get started isn't easy. The job itself isn't easy. If you think you can do it part-time, you can't. This is a lifestyle change. So guys, let's rock and roll with this thing. I'll see you next time. If you see me on the road, honk your horn, flash your lights, let me know. See you.